Hi, ladies. I am so excited to be here today with you because we're going to talk about a very interesting subject. I am going to base everything that I'm saying and sharing with you with the law of gender. The law of gender states that masculine and feminine energy exists in all things, and that creation requires the balance and integration of both. So it has nothing to do with biological sex or societal gender roles, but rather is energetic polarities that are present in every human being, system, or form of life. I want to first talk about masculine energy and what it means, what that's associated with. Masculine energy, it has to do with logic, it has to do with action, structure, focus, and giving. A person who is more in their masculine energy, who does not know how to manage emotions, or might only see the logical part of emotion and not really understand what is going on, can be more in their masculine energy than on their feminine energy, because feminine energy in emotion is all about the flow, riding the roller coaster of the emotion, knowing how to deal and manage that, because it is understanding what is happening and also letting that emotion be. At least in my world, I see more women being the feminine energy in regards to emotion, and men being in their masculine energy with their emotions. They're more logical. They see the logical part of things and don't really get emotional about things. They see what's going on, they solve the problem, and they not may ride the roller coaster of the emotion as the woman would do. I'm just giving an example of how this would play in part of emotions to gain more perspective. The masculine energy is also associated with taking action, structure, like having the ability to hold it all together. Focus, it's the energy that gives. It also represents the active, penetrative force in the universe. In the psyche, it governs willpower, clarity, and direction and discipline. In nature, it may symbolize the sun, the fire, or the seed. Just like I said in the beginning, every person that wants to have success, that wants to create something that is meaningful, you must have both energies that are balanced. People may have over fantasized about being too much in the feminine or being too much in the masculine, but there is a very powerful misalignment if these two energies are not aligned within yourself. Okay, let's go into feminine energy. This is the yin. This is associated with intuition, with receptivity, with creativity, with nurturing and flow. I must say and state that I've been most of my life in my masculine energy. I at least could say that I've been in my masculine energy like my entire 2020s. I had the ability to create, but I didn't have the ability to trust and flow and go with the flow and just ride the wave. No, I had to have an structure. What's illogical? What do I see in this? What's not convenient for me in this realm? If we are too stuck in this realm, in this 3D world, we're not able to let the universe, God, or whatever it is that you believe in, bless us with the things that we want. We might be sabotaging ourselves because we're not giving the universe that space that it needs, that belief that it needs. So going back to the feminine energy, this feminine energy is associated with intuition, with receptivity, with creativity, with nurturing, with flow. It is the ability to feel. And I think I can go in this subject for a long time because since I just told you that I had been such a long time of my life in my masculine energy, it was like so structured, so, oh, let's do the to-do list, whatever. I got so into feeling and tasting and actually feeling the five senses, feeling, seeing, admiring nature, hearing music. Those five senses, we take it for granted because it's like normalized. They're animals that only see two colors. So I'm only mentioning this because we take this senses that we take it for granted. Take the time to feel, to sense everything that's happening, sense the air that's coming in, hear that music, taste that food, talk slowly. When we actually get to experience and feel these five senses that we're meant to feel, there is also said that we have a sixth sense, and that sixth sense is our intuition, is that deep knowing that something else is trying to speak through us. These subtle energies that you get, there's certain messages that the intangible is trying to talk to you. It is almost said that we are more connected, not we, this feminine energy is more connected to the intangible. Okay, it represents the passive, the magnetic force that perceives and nurtures creation. And in the psyche, it governs emotional depth, surrender, empathy, and sensuality. In nature, you may see the moon as something feminine, something dark, something more mysterious, something small in comparison to the sun, of course. Water, it is also symbolized in nature as a feminine symbol, and the womb area. Every person, regardless of gender identity, carries both energies. They contain both masculine and feminine energy, and the law of gender teaches that internal harmony. The law of gender teaches that internal harmony and external manifestation arises from the integration of both forces. When one is more dominant or repressed, imbalances occur. When you have an overactive masculine without the feminine, it may come out as burned out, as rigidity, as disconnection. Whereas when you have an overactive feminine without the masculine, it's like chaos. It's lack of direction and emotional overwhelmed. That is why when women learn how to manage the roller coaster of emotions, that is when they're enlightened. That is when they have like one of these awakenings. True self-actualization happens when a person learns to lead and with both energies. So it is actually having the structure and the action of the masculine energy while staying connected with your feminine energy, with your intuition and your emotional wisdom. In the metaphysical terms, the feminine energy conceives the idea, the desire, the vision, the feeling, and the masculine energy acts upon it to bring it into form. That is why I always say, think about what it is that you want and then release and then take aligned action. Without aligned action, there's nothing to manifest through. This mirrors a natural law. A seed, when you plant the seed, this is the masculine, when you penetrate in the earth, the feminine is the earth, life is born. A child is born into this realm in the 3D world. It's the same thing when a thought, a masculine, is nurtured by emotion and belief, the feminine, reality is shaped. Let that sink in because this is powerful. In creative work like relationships, entrepreneurship, and healing, this law is constantly at play, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. When you feel doubt, when you feel chaotic, you can clearly see where your misalignment is. You need to control your emotions and stay contained. I'm not saying not feel your emotions because you need to release them. Every emotion you have, it's a step, something that must be released for you to go to the next level, for you to evolve. When we are not aligned with how we are supposed to work and have these two energies at play, This is when misaligned feminine energy comes along and misaligned masculine energy comes along. You can clearly see this in dysfunctional relationship dynamics. If you are having to attract a type of persons that maybe you do not desire in your life, take a look at what it is that you're missing. Maybe you need the containment of the masculine, or maybe you need some structure, maybe you need some self-love. You need to realize what it is that you are missing, the things that I've mentioned on how to take responsibility and how to take on the habits that I've told you so you can integrate the things that you're missing. The law of gender is not about conforming to traditional gender norms. It's about embodying the full spectrum of your creative and emotional intellectual potential. Let that sink in. Really listen to that, and really listen to that. When the masculine and the feminine within are in harmony, are working together, not against each other, they become so powerful in present reality. They become powerful creators of reality. If something is not happening, it's because there is one of these energies are working, either they're working against each other or there's a misalignment. But when they are in harmony, it is grounded, it is purposeful, and it is fluidly in expression. If you have any questions, please let me know because I'd love to answer them. I'll wait for you in the next one. Bye.